Some time ago, the National Institutes of Health put out an article that was entitled An Evolution of Clinical Research. And what this was actually, it was a history of scientific studies looking at how long back can we find an actual scientific study. And they said the very first study in all of recorded history that they've been able to find is Daniel chapter 1. Daniel chapter 1 is a study where you have a control group. You had the standard Babylonian diet. Daniel was taken from Jerusalem to Babylon, and as he's there, he's given a diet of the Babylonians. But Daniel knew that he couldn't eat certain foods that the Babylonians would eat, so he said, no, I can't do this, let's do a test. And this is the first scientific study in all of recorded history. And so Daniel then begins to eat a plant-based diet with his friends. So they become the experimental group. The control group were the other Babylonian students, and they would eat the food that the king gave them, which was a standard, meat-based diet. But Daniel and his friends go on a plant-based diet. We're told this is the first study in all of recorded history, and that being the case, what happened? At the end of 10 days, it began to show a beneficial impact on the health of Daniel and his friends, but it showed a neural benefit or a mental benefit, that they actually did better in their studies, seemingly as a result of the way they were eating. Now, what happened was this study has been repeated today in the days that we're living, and what they did is they took a middle school, changed them from a standard animal-based diet, put them on a plant-based diet, and as they did, the students did better in school just eating plant-based foods. They did better in their homework, they did better in their schoolwork, it almost eliminated fighting, and it almost eliminated teen pregnancies in this middle school. So this is absolutely amazing. The fascinating thing is, what Daniel was eating there was close to what was being eaten in the Garden of Eden. Now, in the Hebrew, the word Eden means pleasure. So it was the garden of pleasure. If you think about that what went on in the garden would be things that would give humans the most pleasure. So whatever they ate, you would expect would bring the most pleasure and happiness to humanity. And that's what we find today. Dr. Beeshold out of Arizona, we're in Arizona right now. Dr. Beeshold out of Arizona did a scientific study looking at what happens when you take people from a standard American diet, a meat-based diet, and then you put one group on a fish-based diet and the third group went on a plant-based diet. What happened was only one group was benefited. Those who went to a total plant-based diet in 2 weeks lowered their depression levels on the DASS score. They lowered it by 50% in just 2 weeks, which is absolutely fascinating. That as we get closer and closer to the food that God gave us, it actually brings us a benefit to our happiness. It gives us a serenity, a peace, and God gave us this message, the first scientific study in all of recorded history, to benefit our emotional state, our happiness, and so that we could just live in peace. And what a benefit it is to us. I tried this myself. I had struggled, with depression for years, and as I tried this, it totally changed my life. And to be honest with you, my joint pain went away, my migraine headaches went away, my hypoglycemia went away, and my depression went away. So it's been one of the greatest experiences of my life, and what a blessing that God gave this to us 2,500 years ago in the days of Daniel. God gave us messages of hope, messages of salvation, but He also gave us messages of happiness and health right in the Bible.